And click. All right, I do see some viewers. Welcome to our first live episode of High and Tight. I'm John Nolan, the Prep Baseball Virginia DC. Sorry, I'm off of my script right now, so that's always a great thing. Welcome again to our first live episode of High and Tight. I'm John Nolan, the Prep Baseball Virginia DC Northern Virginia Scouting Director. With me this evening, Jason Burton, the Virginia DC Assistant Scouting Director, or the Virginia DC Scouting Director, and Jordan Jones, the Assistant Scouting Director. Jordan, Jason, how are you guys doing today, other than not as nervous and flustered as I am, I would hope, right?
This is the first time I've seen you have the yips on air, Nolan.
Yeah, I'm struggling right now, and it's not good. Oh, how was the weekend, guys?
It was good. Loaded with talent. Fun weekend. Very excited to talk about it.
For sure.
Yep. All right, so we are rolling this debut live episode tonight because obviously we had an event yesterday and it's a federal holiday, so why not? We will look to settle into a more permanent slot for the high school season. It will be on Sundays, early evening. We haven't locked down exactly what time. So our plan is to continue this format going forward. We will do these live. So tonight, I believe if we got this correct, we are on Twitter and Instagram live, or X, or whatever we call that this week. Future ones will also be on YouTube live. If you are watching this late and not live, it will be on our YouTube channel. We welcome you and thank you again for joining us. So look for us to get future broadcasts onto more social media locations in the future. Again, like I said, the plan is to do these live going forward. So we are on here to start breaking down our busy second weekend of preseason All-State action. We had two events last weekend, the PAS West at the Elite Performance Academy Hitters House in Danville on Saturday, and the PAS Richmond at Iron Bridge Baseball in Chester on Sunday morning. We saw about 100 players total between the two events. There were plenty of standouts. Let me first start with the same disclaimer I gave last week. And by the way, if you haven't seen any of our previous pods, make sure you check our YouTube channel. You can see all of our pods on the PBR Mid-Atlantic channel. And you can also see our cousins, the Crab Cakes and Baseball one, covering Maryland and Delaware. General disclaimer here, there were a lot of players who had really, really good weekends. If we are going to keep this pod under, I don't know, like 3 hours or to some kind of reasonable length, we're not necessarily going to be able to get to everybody right now. So we're going to focus on some of the major standouts. Stat releases have been posted. Social media is either done or close to done at this point in time, depending upon when you are watching this. Look for superlatives to roll next week as they're rolling this week for PAS session 1 and 2. So enough with me running my mouth. Let's go ahead and start shifting to the events here, because I do think, if I remember correctly, we have something like 20-some plus players to talk about. So less talk and more talk about players. All right, so Saturday was our first preseason event in the Southwest as we went to Danville, Virginia. We have done events down 81 at Virginia Tech before, but never in February or March. And we were happy with the talent that showed up at this event. There were a couple of really, really, really good players. And we hope to grow this event in future years. So let's go ahead and talk about these guys. We're going to do 3 categories real quick here: two-ways, arms, and bats. So I'm going to get out of the way, and I'm going to kind of open this up to both of you guys, because while I've seen these guys before, I was not there on Saturday. So let's start with our two-way guys here. One of our fall state game standouts, Logan Clark, a 2026 outfielder, right-handed pitcher from Halifax County. Go ahead, guys.
Yeah, Clark, lean athletic frame with strength present, has above average arm strength, let it eat a little bit on Saturday. Average runner. During BP, was a little opening up a little bit later in the rounds, but he was controlled early, using the middle, the backside of him. Had some real loud contact later on in rounds. But his strength for pull side, gap to gap approach, and I really like the outfield profile for him.
All right, I will add this really quickly. I'm trying to drop the video in there. You'll have to excuse us. We are working out some kinks. So if that happens again, give me a second. Bert, what do you want to add about Clark?
No, I mean, just physical, athletic. He's number 25 in the 26 class right now. 6'1", 180 pounds. He's a true 26 age-wise, so he's not a reclass guy. Power from the left side, the power output per blast, and obviously TrackMan EVs and all those things is crazy. Ball explodes off the bat. On the mound, it's pretty raw. He has a lot of polish to add. But honestly, like one of the, there's a handful or so of places that if you have an arm in the state to develop, you want them to go play in high school. And I would say that one of those places is probably Halifax, the way they churn out arms. Jeremy Jeffries, Andrew Abbott, the list goes on and on. They have Hatcher there now. So I think he's in a great spot. He was up to 89. Secondary still developing. Good sweeping slider, but needs to firm up the consistency of it. But just super athletic, raw, a lot to dream on there.
All right, again, that was Logan Clark, outfielder, right-handed pitcher from Halifax County in the 2026 class. Let me try something. All right, we'll have to make sure in the future that we have silenced videos, I think, because that did not work out how I think we thought it was. But like I said, guys, bear with us. We're working through this here. All right, so staying with our two-way guy theme here, let's go ahead and talk about Daniel Fellhauer, outfielder, left-handed pitcher. This one's from Abingdon. He's at 2025. So what do we got on Daniel, guys?
Yeah, Daniel. Oh, you can go ahead.
No, you're good. Nolan might want to pass it to one person at a time instead of multiple.
Okay, I'm sorry. Well, again, we're working out the kinks on this.
You're good. I think for me, like Jordan, I think Jordan saw him offensively in that cage. But on the mound, obviously both of us got a chance to see him. It's not an overpowering arm. Upper 70s, I could see him being a 82, 85 guy, long term. It's a smaller frame, but the kid pitches. He absolutely pitches. Three plus pitches for strikes. Can spin a breaking ball, change up. The arm works. It's pretty light effort. I think I wrote some stuff today on Abingdon. I think that he's going to be a really important arm for Abingdon this year to go behind Humphreys and some of those guys. To pair up with them. So I think he's going to be huge for them. And I think it's a guy who offers a lot of pitchability. Kind of, I guess you would say, kind of an inning eater. He's going to be efficient in the zone. He's going to keep pitch count down. I thought he was really good, for it being February 17th, as far as feel for the zone and feel for his pitches.
Yeah. Offensively for Fellhauer, it's not my first look at him. I got to see him in game also as well. But it's a wiry athletic frame. It's a simple, easy swing. Doesn't look to do too much at the plate. A little bit more pull side, but it has ability to spray it to all fields. But in terms of he just gets it done. Nothing flashy. He keeps a simple kind of under the radar approach, but gets it done at the plate. And knows what he's looking for when he steps into the box. So I think that's something that I really like about him offensively.
All right, again, that was Daniel Fellhauer, outfielder, left-handed pitcher from Abingdon. Let me throw the offense in here real quick. All right, we'll do it that way for now until I can figure it out.
Let's just point out how great that view is. I know we've kind of gone away from it. It is a death trap for social media, for videoing back there. So I got to wear that one on Saturday. But man, the view is outstanding. I remember back when I started Nolan, we did all of those views from behind home plate with the clear plexi screen. We would climb back there, or I would climb back there and get hand up in the net to shoot a clear video. right behind the catcher, and you got a catcher who's never caught the arm before, and you have an arm, who is trying to run some velo up there or might not have the best feel for command and is just spraying stuff, and you're just praying for your life that you're going to make it out of there.
Well, and my favorite is because you have those. I mean, to put that plastic plexi thing in there, you have to create holes in the net. So every time it gets hit, it gets ripped. So inevitably, you have so many zip ties on there trying to hold the plexi to the net that you have to avoid the zip ties. Plus, you can't interfere with the camera. Yeah, I get exactly.
You have to stay out of the way of TrackMan so you don't bump that and have to recalibrate. Yeah, no, it's an expedition. It is an adventure being back there, but no, it's such a great view. It's just we have to find willing volunteers to dive in there.
It takes the meaning of volunteers tribute to a new level. All right, let's stick with arms. We'll keep looking at this view here. Just arm guys here. Ethan Inge, a right-handed pitcher, 2026 from Alta Vista Combined School. What we got on Inge, guys? Or Jason, how about that?
There we go. We'll get there. Not athletic, lanky. He's got some projections, some room to fill. He's a low 80s arm. Got some ride on the fastball, feel for slaughter. I like, similar to Fellhauer, I like some of the pitchability. I like some of the projection with this arm. It's pretty normal effort. I just think it's athletic, and there's more velo there and more room to grow and more projection left with him. And again, kind of bottle all that together with his feel for secondary. To be quite honest with you, I'm not sure everything that or the full staff at Alta Vista, but I've got to believe that he would be one of the frontline guys or one of their, top arms. So he's got a chance to kind of make a big jump this fall or this spring with getting a lot of innings and getting that varsity experience as a sophomore.
Jordan, anything to add on Inge?
It's not our first look at him. Our good guys with NRV Tigers get to see him at least twice a year. So another look at him. He's an athletic mover, up-tempo delivery, and plenty of room to fill. But I really like his ability to spin the baseball. He's confident in it. He likes to throw it a lot. So I just like his pitchability and upside, especially with the ability to spin the baseball.
All right, there. We'll try and do that for a little bit here. All right, let's stick with another arm here real quickly. Let's go 2027. So high school freshman here. Griffin Bryant, right-handed pitcher from Liberty Christian Academy. Jordan, I'll throw this one to you first here.
Yeah, it's a super projectable frame. He's long, lanky, plenty of room to fill. It's a controlled delivery. He moves well, getting down the hill. What I really liked about his bullpen, he used his changeup a lot, showed confidence in it, able to throw it. And I think that if you, as a freshman, you have ability to have confidence in that pitch, I think you can tweak it, just develop a little bit more as you get older. It can be a big pitch for him. But, it's a low 80s arm. Velo would definitely tick up as he adds strength to his frame. But a lot to like, and I think he'll be a good arm here in the future.
Jason, anything to add on Bryant?
Another place that you want to go if you're an arm, LCA. They have Coach Tomlin has plenty of experience working with those arms, former big leaguer himself. And I think one of the biggest things with Bryant is just his young features. Like it's, for lack of better ways to put it, it's baby face. You see plenty of projection there. Like Jordan said, it's kind of a longer frame, sloped shoulders. He's made upright. I really like, same thing for a freshman. I really like the pitchability. I really like the way he handled himself on the mound, his use of his secondary. I think he's got a chance to be a good arm.
Bryant.
All right, let's go to a bat. We talked about this guy in our preview pod last week. He can thump a baseball, I'll tell you that much. He was at state games too, and that's sticking with Halifax County 2026 catcher Carter Thomason. Jason, what you got on Carter?
Nolan, run the video. Let's try it before.
Again, he can hit a baseball.
He hits baseballs very hard. Jordan and I were talking about this earlier. He is a guy where, like, what he does, he shows some effort, and he shows like a higher motor and some obviously ability to impact the baseball. But there's some effort in the things that he does. Um, but there's plenty of guys like that, and at the end of the day, it doesn't matter as long as it translates in game. Catcher velo, I think he was upper 70s. He was up to 80 at the end of October, is what I'm seeing on his profile. End of October, he was up to 80 behind the plate. He was mid 80s across the infield, 100 exit velo, 373 foot max distance, like hand speed, bat speed. His bat speed was off the charts, 85.7 miles an hour. Rotation is 22 Gs. Just like those offensive measurables are through the roof. Now, again, it has to translate in game, and that's what we're excited to go see this spring, to get out to Halifax and see him and Logan Clark, and Gavin Colwell and Mason Hatcher and all of those guys there at Halifax.
All right, so Jason, you were talking about hand speed and bat speed. I'm going to go off topic here for a second, but it's a topic that was relevant because a bunch of people were asking you about this at the Richmond event yesterday. And I'll throw it over to Jordan here. Jordan, can you explain? We get those metrics with our blast sensors, hand speed, bat speed, that kind of stuff. Can you tell us? And Jason, you can always cut in too. But Jordan, what's good? What are we looking for with those kind of numbers so that players know what we're evaluating there when we talk about them?
Yeah, so just with bat speed, how quick your hands work getting through the zone. I will say I would like to throw a number out there, like 70s, mid 70s is like a really elite number. So if you're up in that area, you're at a good start, no matter what class or age you are. But I feel like if you're in that range, you have elite bat speed and you have the ability to impact the baseball on the field and things like that. So if you're one of those guys like numbers, like the chase numbers, hey, that's a number that you can go and reach and chase. So,
And we talked about this with some guys. Nolan and I were in the same cage yesterday, and talking with some guys about it. The bat speed, probably more so than than the peak bat speed. I look at the average, because like a lot of times, you'll see a guy flash a 77, 78, 80, something like that, but their average is like a 69 or 70. So you had one extreme outlier. And I think so it's important to look at that average because it tells you how well guys are synced up, how well they're on time. If you get a guy who's out front, the majority of his swings and he's kind of dragging through the zone and he's disconnected, that bat's going to be slower. Whereas opposed to that one time that he's really synced up and produces that big bat speed. And so that, the average sometimes tells me a little bit more about the player than the max does. Like Jordan said, a player who's averaging mid 70s, 75 to 77 in there, if you're averaging that, like that's really good. If your max is 80, that's outstanding. That shows that you can really turn the barrel. But then again, if your average is, 69 or 70, again, that means we had, one or two extreme outliers. And then, the rotation, all of those things basically, like they don't tell somebody that you can hit. What they tell is they're indicators if you have the potential ability to hit at a higher level, because if you rotate faster, you can sit and wait to recognize pitches a little bit longer, and so there's more adjustability in that. With if you have a quicker bat through the zone or quicker hands through the zone or rotate faster, it just gives you more time to recognize and to react to pitches.
Exactly, and I mean, we were pitchers, Jason, you and I. Jordan, you were a position player, but it's what, 0.4 of a second from release to ball hitting the catcher, and you have even less than that to make that decision as a hitter. Even if you can add 100th or 1,000th of a second by just being that much quicker through the zone, that's more time for you to gain information, decide whether this is a pitch you can hit, whether it's a breaking ball, whether it's a fastball, what timing you're going with, and that is a big difference. So when we are talking about those numbers, that's what we're talking about. that raw bat speed number you mentioned. Hand speed, I think some of the best numbers I've seen are north of 25 or thereabouts, Jason?
Yeah, they're going to range in the above average is going to be your 22, 23. And then really, really higher end guys are going to be 25, 26, 24 is above average. Well above average.
And again, what Jason was saying, this doesn't mean you can or can't hit. It's just some of those traits and things that coaches and us and scouts are looking for just to kind of see those things. So let's go ahead and get back off the tangent. That's not a tangent that I minded being on personally. And let's shift from talking about our West event to talking about yesterday, Sunday, in Richmond, our return to Iron Bridge. So session 4. We'll do this a little differently than how we just did the West because we've got a couple of groupings of schools that sent some decent players. So we're going to do it by school here for a little bit. Then I got some standalone arms and bats to talk about at the end. So first, I got a pair of guys to talk about from Stewart School. A 2025 catcher, Brian Archer. Jordan, that looked like that was your cage, right?
Yeah, it was. I mean, Archer continues to improve and add strength to his frame. Each look we get more recently, it's very noticeable. Shoulders filled out, chest. So he's adding strength. He's been able to create a lot of hard contact on a consistent basis more recently. Gap-to-gap approach. I'm not afraid to use the backside. But also a big thing defensively, his arm has gotten stronger behind the plate, and that's a big thing, especially for a catcher. But I mean, each look he continues to work, get better at his craft. So he's really improved over the winter, and I'm very excited to see that and go out to see that translate in game this spring.
All right, staying at Stewart, we're going to stay 2025. It's an outfielder this time, and I'm sorry if I mess up this last name, Caden Diatalevi. Bert, he's a big boy, man. You want to talk about a guy who can spin a barrel, right?
Yeah, but both of them, big physical guys at Stewart, athletic. We talked about bat speed and hand speed. I'm looking at Diatalevi's numbers right now, or Caden's numbers, so I don't continue to butcher it if I am wrong. 24.3 max hand speed, 22.6 average. So it wasn't a crazy outlier. It was about 20 swings that guys got yesterday. 80.7 max bat speed, 75.9 average. So again, a really good average. Again, there's intent. He's looking to do damage when he swings. And there's plenty of arm strength. He can play in left or right. Let's see, he was a 3.97. He's above average runner, 28-inch vertical. So he's an athletic kid. He's athletic. He's big. He's strong. I think that he's a guy that him and Archer both are guys that are going to have to fill that void that was left by like a zillion graduating seniors at Stewart, that won the state championship. But I want to say legitimately, I think they graduated 6 or 7 guys. And the vast majority of them were starters. So those 2 are the main ones I think that are going to have to fill some of that offensive void. And it'd be hard to find, 2 guys that are trending up more than those 2 in the 25 class, especially when we get a little more specific in the Richmond area. But back to Archer, like what Jordan said, that honestly, that's one of the more impressive catcher pop sessions that I've seen. Not so much like the arm strength is for sure. I agree with Jordan 1,000,000%. The arm strength has gotten better, but I think more importantly, like he gets it in and out. If you watch his video, Nolan, put that video up and let it run for just a second.
Hold on for half a second. Let me scroll back up. I do remember these catcher pops because I'm the one who's usually back there trying not to get smoked by Scoggins on a throw. And the ones that are accurate tend to stick out for me when I'm taping them. What else were you going to say about those throws?
Like it's not elite arm strength, but it has gotten a lot better. A year or so ago, 12, 18 months ago, I was worried if he was going to have to move to first because of the arm strength. But it has gotten better. And the bigger thing is, if you watch his footwork and you watch where he finishes, he's not the guy that cheats out of there and finishes 4 feet in front of the plate and there's a longer exchange. He got it in and out. It was what, 77, Jordan, something like that?
76, 77, something like that.
76,
Yeah.
76. He was 196 to 208. He got it in and out, and he put it on the bag. I mean, he had 5 throws, and I think one of them was like a foot maybe to the third base side on a long hop, which is easily handleable, easily handled by the middle infielder. But everything else was, I mean, just right on the screws. And so I think that's huge for him. And back to Caden, I mean, those two are just physical specimens for Stewart this spring.
All right. So again, that was a pair of position players from Stewart. 2025's Brian Archer and Caden Diatalevi. Let's go ahead and stick with another pair at a same school. We're going to go to Goochland, home of arguably the best right-handed major league pitcher of the last 20 years. So let's talk about a pair of 26 position players here. Jackson Bell, a outfielder. Let's start with him. Then we'll go to Will John. So Bell first. Jordan, again, that looks like that was your cage. So What do you got on Jackson?
Jackson Bell, he's a former JFG guy. 2 summers ago, I believe. Back then, he was just a big kid, lanky, and man, has he really grown into that frame. Kind of looks like a grown man in that body. He's become a physical bat with power, especially to the pull side. It was very, very loud rounds in my cage and consistent loud contact. It wasn't just a loud barrel here and there. Majority of them were very loud, and I think he's just now getting adjusted to his body and the strength that he possesses. And he's really figuring out that, hey, I could really impact this baseball. So I think he's a big time power bat in the future. Just someone to really keep an eye on because the power is there.
Bert, anything to add on him?
Hits baseballs hard. And side note, did get a chance to play against Justin Verlander in high school.
How'd that go?
Well, he didn't pitch that game. Fortunately, it was American Legion, and he was playing third base or something like that, and I was playing third, and so he gets around to third base, and so we're talking, and like he's telling stories about like going out to major league stadiums and what teams are talking about offering him. They're talking money and rounds and all this stuff. So yeah, that was my one and only encounter with Justin Verlander. Unfortunately, it did not involve me standing in a batter's box with him pitching.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to sit behind home plate and watch him pitch, but I do have to want to hold a bat and stand there while he's throwing.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't Justin Verlander in high school.
That's true.
I mean, he was.
He had to go to Old Dominion first before he got there, right?
Yeah, I mean, he was. Venture to say he was a mid upper 80s arm, which at the time in 2001, I think was when he graduated.
I was going to say 2001, mid upper 80s is bringing it.
No, mid upper 80s in 2001 is a Division I guy, is a right-hander.
Yeah,
mid upper 80s is surefire. Yep, you're sitting there. Mid upper 80s is a Division I guy, then, and a mid 80s left-hander, mid to 85, 87. I mean, I played against a kid who was 85, 87, undersized left-hander, and the kid got drafted. That's not going to happen these days.
No, and please, no one go look up my college stats. They're unimpressive. I can tell more stories about home runs I gave up than outs I got. So
that's great. That's what makes live great.
All right. So let's stick with Goochland and let's go to a catcher here, 2026, Will Johns, left-handed swinger. Here, let's take a peek real quick. Wait, is this going to let me talk over it right now?
It is. You muted it.
So the muted video. Well, no, this was one that was muted beforehand. All right. So notes for future guys. Mute your videos. All right.
Not when we put them out, just when we send them to you. Got you.
Or one of the two. If it's a muted video, that'll work. Nice. Good to know. All right. So I got a few more to watch for as we go here. Johns, Bert, that was our side. What you got on him?
Hits. Like it's hit tool, it's doubles power. It's not some big power bat, but it's a left-handed swing. You know, everybody says there's no ugly left-handed swing. He continues that tradition. It's a compact frame. The arm strength is going to have to continue to progress to stay behind the plate. He receives well. He defends well behind the plate. But regardless, the bat has got to be in the lineup. The kid absolutely hits. He hits every time we see him. You know, again, not a power bat. He's going to spray it around, gap to gap, line drives, barrel control, feel for the barrel, all those things. Just really, really impressed. You would see some guys, you know, because everybody. I don't know if I've seen a player that doesn't get in at some point and complain about, oh, well, he tied me up a little bit, or was a little bit too soft, or was a little bit too firm, or whatever it is. It's crazy because that's what pitchers do. But that's a whole nother topic for a whole different day, hitters and BP. But Will had no issues. He got the barrel to the baseball. He got down on time. It just, again, just a really quality hit tool for the 26 out of Goochland.
Jordan, anything to add there on him positionally, maybe?
I think he'll be able to find that arm strength a little bit later, and I think he'll be able to stick just because he's a gamer. He works hard, competes behind the plate. So I just think as he gets stronger, he'll be able to gain that arm strength and stay behind the plate. Another side note, he got with teammate Jackson Bell, so a little they stay together on that too as well. So.
All right, so let's go ahead and shift from Spotswood to Atlee High School, and let's do a 2026 middle infielder. Let's go ahead and talk. I am skipping lines right now because I'm trying to find stuff that is disappearing on me. So Spotswood, I'm sorry, Spotswood. We'll get to Atlee in a minute. So preview of what's coming here. Spotswood, we got a couple guys to talk about here. First one, Camden Blank, a 2026 middle infielder. Let me roll the video real fast. All right, Cam.
Nope. You're right. No, that's good. I was just telling you that Jordan wasn't getting to talk.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Burton.
No, you don't get to talk about my guy. No, I love that kid, man. I love that kid. I know he was in Jordan's cage. I don't care. I'll use the veto power here. I just love him. The kid's a defender. I love middle infielders. If I'm going to a game and I want to see one thing, I want to see a middle infielder. Just because I like watching a really good one operate, and he's a really good one. I don't think there's a ton of projection up that's left there. But he continues to fill out and get stronger. He continues to get faster. The run tool continues to improve. The arm strength continues to improve. So I think in turn, obviously, the athleticism keeps getting better. One of the best verticals, 30.7. I think he was 6th. 30.7 vert. He was sub 430. The kid plays. He has a love for the game. He has a passion for it. You just watch the way he handles himself. 2-time junior future games guy. He's going to be because of his ability to bring elite defense to the middle of the field, he's going to have a chance to play, at a fairly high level. And the bat continues to improve.
All right. Camden Blank. Jordan, did you want to add anything, or are we good there?
Oh, I can speak? No, I was flat.
Yeah.
Burton hit it right on. Yeah, Burton hit it right on. He's a great kid. I love the makeup. He's a gamer. He works hard, competes. I think he's going to be able to play at a very high level.
All right. Let's go arm for Spotswood here. 2025, Brady Hoover. Got some stuff going there. Jordan, since Burton took all the air out on Blank, why don't we throw this one towards you here? What you got on Hoover?
Yeah, Hoover, he's really grown into his frame. Got a little bit more physical. It definitely helped his stuff on the mound. It's fairly easy effort. Fastball was up to 80, 87, it was more 85, 86, 84, 86 range, but up to 87. He showed feel for both breaking balls. I personally like the slider a little bit better, but I mean, both of them are above average spin. Curveball over 12.6. Slider had tighter shape, be able to put away to batters. But I mean, they're both plus offerings that he can both use out pitches. And I just really liked his bullpen of pretty electric stuff coming from him.
All right, so I think Hoover looked pretty good. And the third guy we wanted to talk about from Spotswood, we're actually going to pull in a Maryland special here. This guy went to a Wow Factor Scout Day in Maryland over the weekend. Carter Lenz at 2025. We've seen him before. He worked out as a two-way guy. I'll talk about him real quickly on the map. Yes. All right, Carter in that bullpen in Maryland over the weekend. He was 86, 87. Breaking ball came in 76 to 78. Also worked out positionally. Kid can impact baseball. He was up to, if I'm reading the stats right on our website, which I'm pretty sure I am, up to 91 on his outfield throw. So we got some more latent arm strength there. Anything either of you guys want to add on Carter, who we've, like I said, we've seen in the past, but this was he was in Maryland this weekend, so he wasn't right in front of us.
No, I talked to Jamie today, and one name that came up specifically was Carter. He was up to 88. He was 86 and 86, 87. He touched 87, 8. So he was up to 88. For anybody that doesn't like, and even people kind of close to us, like, oh, that's not 88. It is. If it's 87.6 on TrackMan, it's 88. And here's why. Because if I hold a radar gun up, what's the radar gun going to say? 88.
88.
Right? Like, so technically, like, it's going to round up anything over that on a radar gun. So again, 86, 87, touched 88. Long, lean. He continues to add velo. I can see it continuing to tick up. Wanted to get out and get a chance to see him last year at Spotswood, and just got out, just didn't get a chance to see him that day. So I think that, I talked to Cam about that, texted Cam about that yesterday. I think that's going to be a sneaky team. I think that's going to be a really sneaky team. Hoover really liked the fastball. The breaking ball is bigger shape. It's more of a starter. Needs to get a little bit firmer in terms of velo and just kind of tightening up a little bit. But it is a big kid. Jordan and I talked about that today. Just like shocked how big he's gotten, how big and physical he is. So yeah, now that's going to be a sneaky team. Porter Craver there behind the plate. You have some other guys joining them. I think Spotswood's going to be a good one this spring.
All right. And also, while we're on the topic of thinking about high school seasons, remember, we have been running our high school season previews. We've put out all of our VISA previews, and VHSL classes 1 through 4 have all run at this point in time. We're going to roll class 5 this week, class 6 next week. And then we are starting our preseason Power 25 rankings release next Monday. So make sure you guys are getting that, as we got plenty of preseason coverage here coming up for y'all. So now let's go back to the Richmond event here at Lee. Pair of 26 middle infielders we want to talk about. Let's actually go Cooper Malloy first, just to break up the pattern of Jordan first and Jason second, which I guess we kind of broke up when Jason butted in on Cam. But Cooper Malloy first here. Oh, that's right. This is a silenced one.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's got some flow in the swing. It's a contact bat. When Jordan and I went to see him this fall at Atlee, gap to gap, we'll use the backside. There's some adjustability with the swing. It's a frame. It's a little bit longer. So I think he's got some room to add some strength there. Second baseman at Atlee, started as a freshman, can defend. I just think that 26 group for Atlee is going to be really good. He is really good and going to be really good. And again, a left-handed hitting middle infielder. Hard not to like those.
I mean, isn't that like Jerry's like sweet spot of how do I really, really like you be a left-handed hitting middle infielder?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. The other 26 middle infielder that we're going to talk about while we're doing this here, Cooper Malloy. All right. Jordan, that's your side. What do you got on him?
Yeah, Will Haney, slick fielding shortstop from Atlee. He started as a freshman, played in some big games as a freshman, so that's very huge. He has soft hands with range. The feet are fluid. Doesn't tend to speed up. Arm strength has really definitely ticked up. He was up to 90 during workout day on Sunday. In the infield. So arm strength to stay on that left hand side. So contact back. He uses the whole field, line drive tendencies. But he'll be able to impact the baseball more as he continues to add the strength to his frame. But the kid can definitely pick it and play with high energy.
All right. So, again, that was Will Haney, not Cooper Malloy. This is what happens when you get me off of script is it just gets ugly. It doesn't go well. All right. So, let's go to Atlee's rival here, and we'll talk about Jason's favorite subject of all time to ever talk about, Hanover. We got a handful of guys here. Huh?
Here we go. Here we go.
You're right. Here we go. Hanover.
They have good players. What do you mean?
I mean, if you win the state championship 3 years in a row, maybe you've got something figured out.
And look, 2015 to 2018, and probably even before that, I didn't have many nice things to say, just because it was kind of like, I don't want to say it was just us and them, but pretty much for 3 of my 4 years as high school head coach, it was us and them in the finals. Well, not my last year. They got beaten extras versus Powhatan, salt in the wound for Coach Kane.
Somewhere right now, he's either, if he's watching this right now, he's like texting you like, "Come on, man." Really?
Look, he did ask me. He said, "All right." He said, "Look, were you happy when we lost to Powhatan in the regional semis?" And I was like, "Absolutely." And he was like, "That's messed up." You got laughing. And I said, well, "Look, like, if I'm gonna go, I want to win a regional championship." And no offense, at the time, I thought that Powhatan was the easier route to do so. That, and couple that with the fact that we had made it. We were little sister in Region 4B for the previous 2 years. So we wanted to be the champion of that, and it worked out that way.
Dude, I remember that upset because that 2018 Hanover class was like everything for like 3 or 4 years. That was something.
And for the record, before we move on, I told Nolan this the other day. We beat Powhatan 2 straight years in conference, region, whatever, and they still ranked Powhatan higher than us, even though we were region champs and beat them 2 straight years. So that's the old PBR. That was the PBR of old. So we get it right now.
Yeah, we're not PBR anymore. We're Prep Baseball.
Oh, sorry.
Missed the memo. We rebranded. Year 10.
Okay.
This is, by the way, year 10 here for Virginia, and we are rebranding. Everyone's rebranding, but it is year 10 in Virginia. We launched in June of 2014, so we will celebrate that 10 years in the book anniversary right around state championship time. All right, back to Hanover, and let's actually talk about some of the players here. First guy, we're going to go arm here, Bryce Crines, 2026 right-handed pitcher. I mean, Christ, another Hanover arm that can throw it and spin it, right?
That slider plays, huh?
A little bit.
I mean, just like if you look at a kid, like all jokes aside, I can watch a kid, and it's, I guess it's kind of cheating because we already know, but I can watch a kid and tell you the chances or odds of them either being a Hanover kid or being an MPH kid by the way they move on the mound. And that's not a shot. That's not a bad thing. Those kids move really well.
They train their guys a certain way, for sure.
They move really well. They get it going down the mound. There's intent in everything that they do. And Crines is just another example. He's made a really nice jump. Jordan, what was he up to yesterday? 86?
86, yeah.
Yeah, up to 86, 84, 86. I want to say it was a little bit lighter in the fall, if I'm correct. Yeah. I want to say maybe like 2 to 4, 3 to 5, maybe somewhere in there, low to mid. But I thought the slider was really good.
All right, well, we'll stick with 26 arms and let's go Will Hodges, another right-handed pitcher. Tell you what, you were right about the intent thing and definitely can spin a slider. Much shorter arm action there for Hodges, but it still works as well. What was he up to, guys?
7?
7?
Seven,
Jordan, you
yeah.
got that in front of you?
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure it's 87.
Yeah, it was. It was 87. 111 hop score for him. So big event winner there for the hop score with basically our grading system, if you will, for the way the fastball gets through the zone. Not a super high spin fastball, but averaged 18 inches of induced vertical break, and averaged right at 11 inches of horizontal on the fastball. 90% spin efficiency. The elbow's a little bit lower on this. The slider works and he gets it over. It's a little bit lower elbow and kind of pushy a little bit. But I think that kid's kind of come leaps and bounds probably in the last 8 to 10 months.
All right, let's go a couple position players here. We'll stay with the 26s, Grayson Reese. And this is on our side. Jason, and you got on him.
Hit tool, can defend, kind of, I guess you say, like mannerisms and confidence and aura about him similar to Blank, like always smiling, playing the game, can really defend in the middle. Foot speed's going to need to continue to progress to stay in the middle, but the glove works, the hands work. Average, slightly above average arm strength, I think. Average arm strength. But again, a really good defender. You talk about him and TJ Woodson up the middle at Hanover. That's two guys that can really pick it. And I thought there was a better feel for the barrel and more consistent ability to impact the baseball and hit.
All right, so again, that was Grayson Reese, 26, middle infielder. We also really want to quickly talk about 25, Gabe Jenkins, who hits ball hard. Big boy. Jordan, what you got on him other than that exit velocity was 97, 78.3 on his max bat speed?
Yeah, I mean, kid has tools. Be able to use the whole field with strength both ways. Above average runner. He runs really well. And strong arm from the outfield. But I think he's just a toolsy guy that's just now kind of starting to figure out his body, his strength, the way it works, and really tap into that power potential at the plate for sure.
I think that he's a two-sport guy. He's a football player, and I do. I don't jump all in on the boat like everybody has to play two sports. Jenkins has had a really good frame, broad shoulder, strong looking kid for a while. I would venture to lean that the football side has helped him just because of the strength part. And it has begun to translate into his game. You look at, let's see, he was top 5 on vert, as fast as 30, ran a 3.78 30. The kid is what, 6'1", 6'2", something like that, 6'1", strong shoulders, turns the barrel, hand speed, all of those things. Just really strong day for an athletic kid.
All right, and then let's go ahead and go a couple guys who are mostly singles. Let's do arms. First guy started the morning off here from South County, 2026 right-handed pitcher Caden Behan. All right, Jordan, I'm going to clear the way and let you go on this one real quick.
Yeah, Behan, he's a physical specimen. Strong, broad shoulders, strong lower half. He was the first arm to throw that morning, and he impressed right away. Fastball was heavy in the 85, 87 range. He ran it up to 88. Real downhill playing with the fastball that gets on hitters. He showed feel for the slider that had shorter shape. that could probably be a little more of an out pitch for him as he put it away to riders, back foot lefties. And he showed a curveball. He mentioned that he just started working on it a couple weeks prior, so he's still developing that shape and feel for that one. But it looks like it'll be a promising pitch for him. But I think he's definitely an interesting arm that is still fairly raw. That could turn into a big time arm.
All right. Yeah. Definitely was an electric way to start the morning off with that. Was looking forward to him. I mentioned him in last week's pod. Again, you can check our YouTube channel for any of those. Let's go 2025 Mechanicsville. We'll just keep knocking off all of the Hanover County position or pitchers and players. Nick Jones, 2025 from Mechanicsville High School. Yep.
That's such a great view, isn't it? You like that?
Mm-hmm.
It's a homemade Edgertronic. Just slightly lower frames per second.
Just a bit.
Yeah. Up to 87. May have had one of the best, if not the best, secondary pitch of the day. I really, really liked his changeup. It was arm speed. He threw it with intent. He located it in the zone. I forget what was the zone percentage. 75%. Threw 4 or 5 of them, so he landed the majority of them for strikes. 77. I think he was like 75, 77, 76, 77. Kills spin. Up to 15 inches of horizontal movement on the changeup. And it came out of the same slot, paired well with the fastball. I think he just, and again, just writing some things today just adds to the stable of arms for Mechanicsville.
Absolutely. Definitely a thing. Mechanicsville arms. What else is new there? Really, it's just that entire area is loaded with arms. And let's go now to a favorite to talk about here and a frequent person or topic of conversation. 2026 right-handed pitcher Jalen German from Trinity Episcopal. I'll tell you what, that looked a heck of a lot easier yesterday than I remember it being in the fall. And I will say this, boy did pop a 90, so we can add him to the 90 club.
Is that that was our first 90 of the winter events, isn't it?
As far as I can remember, yes.
I know we had multiple 89s at Nova. A Newburn and a couple of others. We had some 89s, but I think that's our first 90. I think it was like 89.6 or 89.7, whatever it was. It's so much better. It looks so much better. I know it's a bullpen, but the effort is dialed down. The power arm still stays there. It's a sinker profile. It's a lower slot. The secondary, he had better feel for the slider yesterday than I've seen. They still need to figure out the shape with that pitch. I've seen some videos, and the videos of the slider were a little bit better as far as shape wise than it was yesterday. But he did throw it for strikes, and it was better than what we've seen it. So we're going in the right direction. And again, I just think that the consistency in the zone, if he can keep that, and he can be an upper 80s arm this spring, that's going to be a tough combo with him and McLeod.
All right. Let's go back to Mechanicsville here. 2026 left-handed pitcher Benjamin Favreau. Jordan, what you got on Fav?
Yeah, I mean, just another look at Fav, and I'll come away impressed again. I really like the pitch ability. The arm works, nice, clean arm action, and just the ability to throw strikes, and to go along with the ability to spin for strikes. I really, really like the breaking ball. Really easy. I feel like it's just a flick of the wrist and breaking balls in the zone with good late depth. I think there's upside for him just because the command and feel for the zone.
Jason, anything to add?
No, the kid can spin it. Kid can
All
really
right.
spin it.
So those were arms, and we got 4 bats we want to talk about here real quick. Let's go 2026 outfielder from Freeman. This is Vinny Fiske, which I got corrected on how to pronounce his name yesterday. And this is one we can talk over. Big boy hits the ball hard, right, Bert?
Ultra long, bat speed, strength, hand speed. I think he was up to like 26 hand speed yesterday. Played a little bit, contributed a little bit as a freshman on varsity last year for Freeman, but would imagine he'll slide in there and have a chance to really do some things this spring.
All right. And we're going to keep this moving here as we're getting close to an hour, which I think is when some stuff might cut us off. Another lefty here, so we can keep talking over this one here. Mason Coleman, a 2026 middle infielder from Brookville High School. Another bigger kid, right? Jordan, did you get a chance to see any of him at all, or was he just over on our side the whole time?
He was over on your side, but I mean, I peeped over Eric when he was hitting. I like Coleman. I think he has some smoothness to his game. I mean, it's nice, smooth lefty swing, creates contact to all fields. It's a contact back for now, but I mean, he's pretty long and lanky where there's room to add strength to his frame. He defends well in the infield. So I really like Coleman.
Bert, anything to add?
I mean, kind of in that, I guess maybe because of their region or area, him and Blank, I know they're boys, 2 guys who can really defend in the middle. I think the difference, Coleman's offense may be a little bit ahead. The swing, it's obviously again a left-handed swing. It's hard to beat those. But I do agree it's a little bit bigger, frame, and he's got some room to add some strength. So I like the swing path, and he's definitely a guy we're going to get out and see at least once or twice this spring.
All right, and let's stick with the left-handed hitter theme here. We're going to go 2026 outfielder from Louisa County. This is Eric Davis. I like the physicality personally. I liked how short the swing was. Bert, what else you want to add?
It's not like elite metrics in terms of like bat speed and hand speed and all those things, but the kid just produces. He just shows up and he produces and he finds the barrel and he hits in game. And it looks good from the left side. So I mean, I classify the kid as a hitter right now, as he continues to add some athleticism and strength to his body.
Jordan, anything to add there?
Nope, kid just hits.
All right, and then we got one bonus one that got dropped on us here, and that is 2025 from Midlothian, Braden Williamson.
I know I dropped this one, so I'm gonna take it. I know Jordan saw him, and Jordan put the video out. So I was watching the video today. I was like, man, like it looked really good, looked really clean. Got to the barrel, and so I go in, I start diving in the data a little bit. That's the first time I have ever seen a player. And again, we're talking 2 rounds of 8, 9, 10 swings. So we're talking he was, 18 to 20 baseballs in play, 17 to 20 baseballs in play, 100% sweet spot barrel percentage, 100%. Every single swing. Every single swing, the kid was on the barrel. He runs. Kid's a 6'8" runner. He ran a 3.82 yesterday. It's not some big power bat, but I think the kid is kind of coming into his own as a 25 and could be a big help for Midlow this spring.
All right, Jordan, you want to add anything since he was in your cage?
Just like the consistency. He was on barrel. Second round, he's trying to impact the baseball a little bit more, but I was impressed how consistent he was able to find the barrel.
All right, I think that's about all we've got. Again, we've got the stat stories up. We'll start running superlatives here on this event. Next week, we're running beach superlatives right now. Look for Nova superlatives later on this week. Big announcement we did make this morning. We have announced our summer event slate and posted the summer state games as an event. You can sign up. It is our biggest event in the Road to Lake Point series this summer. When you are looking at that registration, there is a video in there explaining some of the changes to the future games. where Jason and I go into that. So make sure you give that a watch. There are a lot of differences this year for our biggest national event. If you're trying to get to those future games, and you should be sure to request your invite as soon as possible for the summer state games. That event will sell out, and we are sending out our first round of invites on Sunday night, February 25th at 8 p.m. If you do receive an invite, also please make sure you register quickly, as we are going to send out more invites to fill any unclaimed spots. So hustle, hustle, hustle on that. Again, 28s, 29s, we have one more event coming up on Sunday, March 3rd in our preseason series you guys can get your hands on. Bert, what were you about to add there?
I was going to say, we get it every year. Somebody's going to come, in July and say, why didn't I get an invite to state games? Or why didn't I get an invite to future games? You have to be at either Mid-Atlantic Trials, state games, or top prospect games, one of those three. You have to be at one of those three. No exceptions. Have to be at one of those three. And don't say anything when it comes time for state games to close down and you want to get in and we don't have any spots left. We've had over 50 requests today. Over 50 requests in 12 hours, under 12 hours?
It's not even 12. This didn't go out till almost lunchtime today, I thought.
Yeah. So it is going to fill up. It is going to sell out. We're going to cap it around 175 players. We have to, in order to make sure everyone gets 2 games.
Yep, and we will be at Iron Bridge this year. Last 2 years we've done it at Fred Nats. We'll be at Iron Bridge, where we've got the 2 fields next to each other. Should be a very good thing for that. So make sure you're getting signed up for that event. Also look for a couple of more dates that we discussed in that video on the state games post. Plenty of stuff rolling on the website. Like I said, VHSL classes 1 through 4 and all of VISA. We've had their preseason previews out. VHSL Class 5 is rolling this week, Class 6 next week. Next Monday, we start revealing our preseason Power 25. And the first full week in March, keep an eye out for the preseason Prep Baseball Virginia DC All-State team. So that'll be coming out as well. Next thing for us will actually be the Prep Baseball Virginia first pitch scrimmages on Saturday, March 2nd in the Richmond area. We'll have round 2 of those again on March 9th. So make sure you're following us on all of our socials, and we'll be back on Sunday afternoon for our next live broadcast. Thanks for joining us. And those of you listening later, thanks for listening or watching as well. We'll see you in what will become our regular time slot on Sunday, and then we'll see you out there.